MavAttack started June 1st, 2014. The reason behind MavAttack was really just I wanted to be a maverick. I wanted to be somebody that thinks outside of the box, somebody that does his own thing, but kind of attack the game industry, you know, just kind of go in and expose what needs to be exposed, basically. And I always wanted like an 80s theme to my channel. I always loved the 80s retro sci-fi theme. For some reason, it just resonated with me. I loved Far Cry Blood Dragon, and even before then. And I had a previous YouTube channel that I tried to do this with, but it didn't actually end up working out. And I made this MavAttack channel not far after I finished uploading on the other older YouTube channel. And I used kind of like a pink and a teal, I don't know, it looks like a freaking watermelon now that I look back on it. Now I started my first video playing the Forest Alpha, and if you guys know, like the Forest is just a terrible game. Even right now, it's still extremely buggy and needs so much work, but I was so excited for it, and I wanted to do my first impressions, and they actually turned out pretty funny, and I kind of went in on this game.
Yo, put your fucking seatbelt on, Billy. God damn. So we're going to step 2, building a fire, bitches. What the fuck? Alpha.
From there, I did my first top 10 games about the PlayStation Portable.
So without further ado, let's kick off the PSP's going away party by listing my top 10 favorite PSP games of all time, bitch.
And while I was working on it like late night around 3 a.m., something really bad happened to me that found me in the hospital. I had some really crazy heart palpitations that like wouldn't stop, and I had my first panic or anxiety attack, where you feel like everything is coming down around you, you get tunnel vision, your heart beats really fast, you don't know what to do. So I didn't know what was happening. Now I always lived in Washington State my whole life, and then eventually once I graduated high school, I went through a couple colleges that didn't work out for me. I decided to, with a friend at the time, move to Florida to go to a school in Florida, away from, clear across the country, away from my whole family, to go to film school and try to be a filmmaker, try to do something in the filmmaking industry. And a few months into doing that, my roommate actually decided to move back home because he wasn't feeling what he was going to school for. He wasn't having the best time, so I actually had to end up finding a place to live, and everything came crashing down after that. I got a place by myself, everything started going good. I had my car shipped across the country, which cost a lot of money, and the car helped out in the long run, but I was slowly having more anxiety because the school was every single day, 8 hours a day, no breaks, you just go straight in, and it's an accelerated program, so instead of getting my degree in 4 years, I would get my degree in 2 years. And so this day that found me in the hospital, I actually found out that I had a panic attack and I was having anxiety or panic disorder, and was actually really common for a lot of the kids that go to this school and people that just get under a lot of pressure and their body just can't handle it anymore. So I was dealing with that at the time. So I did a lot more videos, did tons of videos, discussion videos.
Grand Theft Auto, and not expecting him to say, "Mommy, what's a prostitute?"
Or go out to school and tell another classmate to suck my dick, bitch.
Weekly news videos that I called VG Weekly, where I was gonna give everybody the news for every single week. And because I was a smaller channel, it didn't actually end up working out.
Lindsay Lohan was prepping a lawsuit against game developer Rockstar using her likeness in their game Grand Theft Auto 5. So what do y'all think? I think she's pretty spot on with making that comparison.
I did a lot of reviews. I did a series called Things I Hate or Things I Love About Video Games. I actually called them like Shit I Love, Shit I Hate, but I changed the titles just to be more friendly with people. Those were actually really fun videos to make, and I actually really enjoyed putting those together.
Choices and freedom.
Video games that give you the choice to do whatever you want just excites me. You can be a good guy or run around and kill everything in your sight.
So around this point at YouTube, I was eating, sleeping, and dreaming YouTube. Everything was YouTube. Discussing YouTube with other YouTubers, studying, learning, figuring out what I needed to do to be successful, and that formula, that mental guidebook I created is working now even to this day. So I did a lot of videos, not a whole lot, but a decent amount. And one night before having to go to school, I ended up being late to class due to working on a special review that I really think the internet needed for people, and it was The Sims 4.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. Your sim needs a job? Surf the web or read a newspaper for job leads. They need to take a shit? Send them to sit on the john. But I actually ended up playing the game for a day straight and dropped my review video on this specific day when nobody else had. It was ultimately my first bigger hitting video. So I actually showed up to class, but not even 2 hours. 2 hours into my class, the video had 5,000 views on it. So I knew at that point, I knew what I was doing. I knew that YouTube, I had to just keep going. So I continued doing what I was doing, but I always had plans of doing more. And for the first few months on YouTube, I always spoke behind gameplay, you know, not me on screen. And I always thought that was kind of boring. Now, no shots to anybody that does that, you know, that's not a bad thing at all. I wanted to be more. I wanted to be a personality. I wanted to be in front of people, somebody people could relate to and connect to and say, oh, that's MavAttack. I know exactly who that is. So I got the help and guidance from a few YouTubers, and I went on with my plans of going in front of the actual camera, and it was successful. People absolutely loved it. My actual first video in front of the camera was my Evil Within review. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. Now, if you don't know what video your ass just clicked on, this is my Evil Within review. That was the first time you see me in the flesh. So time passed by playing games here and there, doing discussion pieces and those 5 reasons to be excited videos that everybody loves. Like, even now, I guess people just still love them. Eventually, I was due to graduate from my college with my bachelor's degree on October 3rd, 2014. I can't even explain the feeling once you're finished with everything. It's crazy. Everything that I had endured in Florida came around, and I was finally getting ready to leave to recover from everything that I dealt with while being alone and away from everyone that I love and known. I finally dropped my last YouTube video in Florida on November 18th. The moment I die, I gotta pop one of these hot chili peppers. I'll take that double. Take that. And I picked up my mom from the airport, and then we proceeded to drive across the country back to our home in Washington State, which was a pretty ballsy idea, but we still ended up doing it. Now, it was bad for me, and I did about 10% of the driving due to my panic attacks and panic disorder. I was in this confined space for a really long amount of time. I didn't have any medication, which usually helps me with that. Just shout out to my mom, because I don't even know how we did that, from Florida to Washington State, all taking the southern route because it was close to wintertime, and the Midwest had actually been snowing immensely, so we couldn't go diagonal straight up through. We actually had to go through the southern states. So it was a long 4 days straight of driving, and we finally made it back, but I had one issue. We didn't have any internet for about a month after I got back. A lot of games dropped during this month I missed out. Little Big Planet 3, Super Smash Bros. Wii U. So finally, after that month, we got internet. And that's when I dropped my 1,000 subscriber video with a question and answer session about myself that a lot of you amazing people participated in, and I still appreciate you guys. So I made more videos that were more gameplay focused, and finally, my plan to change the way the channel looked had risen. So on January 2nd, on the new year, I implemented my channel changes. Now, I hired a graphic designer from Italy, and shout out to Kenzo Art, and found a producer that makes synthwave 80s inspired electronic music named Wave Shaper. Shout out to you as well, Wave Shaper. Your music is freaking rad. That's when the channel looked like how I wanted it to look. Everything was there. It was the theme that I wanted. So in doing tons and tons of videos, I kept moving, kept covering content, and I had my next hit. It was a Bloodborne co-op video, and I know some of you guys remember this video, but I basically teach you guys how to play co-op on Bloodborne. I got like 50,000 plus views on that video, so that video actually did really well in my opinion, and I had many other videos aside from that people showed massive support on, and I'll always be thankful for every little bit that you guys do for me. I have 4,400 subscribers at this point in doing this video, and I feel like we can get 1,000 views a video, which is just ridiculous. Like, if you think about that, I can't even, it's crazy. It's beyond me. And the Mav movement has always reminded me of why I do this. All the he-mavs and she-mavs, and yes, I'm sticking to those because those are freaking clean. You guys mean a lot to me and keep me pushing forward every single day, every day that I do this. The Mav movement is something that I want to use to inspire more people to not think outside of the box, but really think like the box doesn't even exist, and you will find things that you've never known were there to even begin with. So I'm trying my best to keep the Mav movement alive, and I really want this channel to move forward and spread to more and more people around the YouTube universe, and I really couldn't do this all without you guys. It really means like everything to me. That's where we're at, a year, and we're already this far. I had a goal to get to 5,000 subscribers by my birthday on June 18th of this year, and I don't think we're gonna get there. So I have to step it up, work my butt off during the summer, and even up until the new year to try to get to my next goal of 10,000 subscribers before 2016. And I really think that, you know, with me being disciplined in what I do, but also getting the Mav movement's help in doing this, everybody that watches this video, I know that there's a chance. I know that there's a shot of us getting there, and I know that this channel can get to and do way more than it's currently doing right now. But I appreciate every single one of you, and thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Everybody that I've met on YouTube, every content creator, every person in the Mav movement that supports me from day to day, every video they like, just everything. So from MavAttack to you guys, thank you all for an amazing year doing YouTube. Come back tomorrow for some Mav Movements 5.